League and ESEA.
G'day guys and welcome back to the ESL Pro League North America Division. It's Season 5, Matchday 16, and it is now our final map of the day between OpTic and Cloud9. Now Cloud9, they looked pretty good there on Nuke. It started off a little bit slow for them, but once they got on that CT side, it almost seemed like a sure thing that they were going to close that out.
Yeah, once they made it onto the CT side, they could really just roll through. They got the pistol round, they started getting their gun rounds together, they got their economy established. Shroud had $15,000 at one point. He did really good work with the org. It was all the Cloud9 show once they switched sides.
Yeah, definitely. And that's not a good sign for OpTic, but at least they are going to be moving over to Train, which is definitely one of their comfort maps coming into this one. Admittedly, Cloud9 not any slouches at Train either, so I think we're going to have another good matchup coming out here in map number 2. But I said at the start of today, I thought it was going to be a 1-1. I thought OpTic was going to pick up Train, or maybe I didn't say 1-1. I thought it depended on what was going on for the CT side, so maybe I did in the end sort of in a roundabouts kind of way.
You made me give a prediction.
No, I think in a roundabouts way, I kind of actually predicted a 2-0 to OpTic because I said whoever gets the CT side first on Nuke would win. But anyway, I definitely think OpTic can win Nuke here. Train, not Nuke.
I'd have to agree with you because Cloud9, they've played Nuke well. Train, I'm doing it too. They've played Train well. They're not a bad Train team. They've got wins against, I think it was a 16-5 against Complexity and a 16-9 against Immortals earlier in the season. So Immortals certainly not a bad team, a good team to have wins against, but OpTic, Train is just one of their go-to maps. It's, as you said, it's a comfort map for them. It's a map where they can get onto it and just be like, all right, guys, we know how this works. We know what we're doing. We'll be fine. So I think OpTic should be able to take this one.
Yeah, the only sort of a blip really in the run of games on Train for OpTic is that loss against NRG, which they had earlier on this season, 16-12 on Train. But they took down SK earlier on tonight on Train. They've taken down Selfless. They've also been able to take down a lot of the other teams around the place. Like, you know, it is tending to be one of their go-to maps in general and not just in the Pro League. But we'll have to see how they start off here. I assume that Cloud9 is going to be picking the side because Nuke, it seemed as though OpTic picked the side, so I assume OpTic starting off on the T side. It's not going to be the easiest of tasks for them, but it's not as bad as starting off on the T side of Nuke.
Yeah, and even that, it didn't end up being as much of a hindrance for Cloud9 as we thought it would be, as they do come away with the win there after really getting going on their CT side. So, still not a done deal by any stretch. We've seen that both teams all players are really firing pretty well. Jason R doing well on OpTic as the stand-in in the IGL. Mixwell looking a little bit lost. On the side of Cloud9, it's nothing. He really didn't have the greatest of impacts, but it's not that anyone is really completely absent in this. No. It's just we've got a few players firing up and some players who aren't as much, but when you've got a few players who are hitting their shots, for example, looking at Cloud9, we had Skadoodle and Shroud really playing well, Automatic also standing up there, as well as Stewie having some nice rounds. When everyone's playing decently on the team, it doesn't need to be a real standout fragger, but that said, going into Train, I'm still going to stick with my pick of OpTic taking this one out.
Yeah, OpTic for them, when they were playing up against SK earlier tonight, it was Mixwell and Tarek that looked really good on Train. And Mixwell, he wasn't hugely impressive on Nuke to me, so hopefully he'll be able to step up here on Train, maybe a little bit more at home on this map. We'll see how they do go about it, but OpTic, as expected, starting off on that T side, and they're going to want to be getting off to a good start as well, because they kind of are coming off a bit of a pummeling in that second half of Nuke, where they only got one round up against, what was it, like 11 from Cloud9. So the momentum is definitely in the favor of Cloud9 at this point.
Shroud going to need to hit the shot here at Ivy, as there is a lot of players there waiting for him, and they will cross, spots out a couple, instead just falls back and waits around. OpTic, they were considering pushing that, but they spot one player there. No damage is exchanged, but they will be falling back off that while the rest of their players begin to move in through the upper halls. Stewie just waiting at the bottom of the ramp. Very common position you see in pistol rounds. Automatic, not as common of a position. Boosted on top of the, what is that? It's a ticket booth office thing?
Yeah.
Container?
It's a thing.
Box in the connector. I should know what that's called, but right now I'm blanking on it. Either way, he's going to be tucked in the little corner there. Not as common of a position to see in pistol rounds, but certainly one that OpTic will be waiting for. But for now, they're moving over towards this B site, setting up to go out the lower ramp here, just waiting for their moment.
Oh, Trad's already started off nicely, though. Mixwell goes down. Automatic picking up a kill there as well for Cloud9, and things are chugging along quite nicely after Nuke, it seems. They do want to pick up the pistol round, though, and they seem as though they should be able to do that. Naf, the only one at this point to get any kills for OpTic, and he's gotten 2, but 2 is not enough. You need 5. Cloud9, it's exactly what they've managed to do. So, starting off with the first pistol here on Train. OpTic Gaming not getting the bomb down will result in what looks to be a pistol and arm buy. But just continuing that momentum rolling along through here for Cloud9 is a great start.
There we go, Naf will eventually buy. I was wondering if he was going to join his team, but yeah, Cloud9, they'll be happy with that. They'll be wanting to establish themselves and make their mark early on Trainers. They have to know that even though Train is a decent map for them, it's a great one for OpTic. So they want to get started with as many rounds and as much damage done as they possibly can. It's a little hut thing, there you go, by the looks of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, they'll be wanting to make their mark here very early on to the damage. And indeed, they've already started off the right way with Rush, taking a lot of damage. I believe that was from a grenade. Could also have been from a scout tag of Scooter. I didn't see exactly where that went down, but either way, good start from Cloud9. They just need to get this round nice and cleanly.
Yeah, that's exactly it. They need to try and probably only lose, I'd say, a single gun here, maybe two they could get away with, but they're obviously wanting to be... OpTic need to be a little bit careful there, but yeah, Cloud9 obviously want to be taking as many guns through to the next round as they can here. Shroud gets relatively low as well, so OpTic doing a decent job of actually putting some damage in, but not actually getting the kills just yet, and OpTic has managed to find a second there with only 15 HP to work with, nothing covering him off as well. Naf does get one, could get a second, but not quite. So far, still for OpTic Gaming, Naf's the only one to pick up a frag so far on this map. Admittedly, it's only 2 rounds in, but I want to be seeing OpTic Gaming stepping up a little bit here.
3, 0, and 2 for Naf. The only one on the board. Over on the Cloud9 side of things, nothing. 3 and 0. Stewie, 3 and 1. OpTic, 3 and 1. It seems that 3 kills is the order of the day in the server for these guys. But this one, no upgrades. Naf, care of those extra kills he has been getting, can grow a P250 over just going with Glocks like the rest of his team. But there is no utility, there is no armor, and Stewie's going to get aggressive for the kill on Mixwell, dancing around the pillar. Will eventually take him down, gets a grenade in to follow as well, but falls back through the smoke as no one else is pressuring him. But when he goes back in, there's going to be more people there, and the dinks come in. Naf cleans up the first, keeping all the kills from his teammates. Will the rest of OpTic even get on the board in this round? Potentially not. Beautiful spray from OpTic there, finding 3. That was a lovely spray transfer between Naf and Jason R. But Naf's still the only one with kills.
Yeah, well, maybe this is going to change in this round because it is finally time for OpTic to get a buy on the board.
This sniper configuration is interesting. Oh no, there we go. Scooter had a scout while Stewie had an AWP, and I was going to question that, but the upgrade comes through.
Yeah, so it makes sense for Cloud9, but immediately the double AWP setup. I mean, that's very early on in the piece.
It is, but when OpTic really haven't been getting anything done, it's just Naf that's really been achieving anything so far in this game. Might as well go for it. They've got the money, they've been getting the kills, so Stewie just warming up his flicks over towards Ivy, ready to go either high or low, and both peaks come in, and he hits one, but the other gets the trade. That's the point of that double peak. That is exactly what OpTic were hoping to achieve there. So one of the AWPs is down, but that's Stewie.
I suspect they would have been hoping to achieve the kill without any deaths, but again, a 1-for-1 is about as good as you can get. And yeah, they do know that the double AWP is out, but again, it's just Cloud9 have got the advantage once more in this round.
Nothing. He's going to need to hit this shot if they actually drop on him, and they will. Spots out Jason R and tries to go back in for the dink, but doesn't get the kill. So Jason R now on the board as well. Kills starting to come in for the other members of OpTic. But
Molotov's good.
Molotov is excellent. Jason R going to have to fall back from that. Takes a bit of damage from it. The grenade is also perfect. Excellent utility usage.
Naf was burning in that Molotov as well, down to 28. So this is really just being exactly what you said. Excellent utility use from Cloud9. Skadoodle hits the shot as well. Rush does trade out one, but it's not going to be enough by the looks of things. 2 versus 1 here for Rush to deal with. He does have a grenade, but he won't be able to pick up a kill with that. He's going to have to rely on the aim from this point out, and Skadoodle is just going to go one better. 3 kills in that round, straight off the bat. Again, continuing that form with the AWP through from Nuke. Cloud9 are looking dangerous right now.
They have lost the double AWP, and there could be no upgrade there. I believe the FAMAS there could not get upgraded. There was no other guns for them to trade that out with. So the FAMAS will continue through, but
they could have afforded the double AWP in this round, actually. But
Shroud's back on the comfort gun.
Yeah,
sitting on the AUG again.
I saw him tweet, and he said something about taking it through again to the map number 2. And it's definitely worked out on Nuke, so why not? Why not indeed?
Absolutely. If you're going to be able to hit heads with it, then just go for it. He was doming people in the last map, so might as well continue on with that trend, as it's only pistols from the OpTic guys here. They do have some armor, but they've got to try and win some very awkward long-range fights. Stewie could be caught out here, but I think he spotted the shoulder of Jason. Either that or that timing is just ridiculously lucky. So we'll be falling back, staying safe for now, not throwing his grenade out either. But the pistols of OpTic have to get in so close unless these Deagles can do work at long range.
Yeah, well, it does seem like it's going to be a fairly similar start to this map as what we saw the last, though. The sides are going to be reversed. Cloud9 looking like they might start off with a 5-0. See, though, maybe this pistol round does go the way of OpTic. That's nicely played from Tag, just peeking in and out. Taking the advantage over OpTic. He's got to gun in his hands now as well. We'll see what he can do with it. Maybe enough, because he's been able to take down nothing. He's playing very, very close to Shroud, but Shroud, he finds 2 and equalizes the player advantage. Now he actually gives the player advantage to Cloud9 by picking up that 3rd. He's going to find 4 and not quite getting the A's, but Skadoodle still closing it out for Cloud9. And I'm not too disappointed by that. Again, the FAMAS not upgraded by Cloud9, but oh well. 5 rounds on the board. Economy, it's starting to build up. It's not getting there just yet, but looking good for Cloud9 so far on that CT side.
It is. The Org of Shroud doing work. Again, he's 6-1 at the moment. Clearly, all that expertise playing H1 and new Battlegrounds game with the scoped weapons carrying over. Gets himself lots of kills. It's an interesting smoke from Scooter. I'm actually not sure where that hits, but either way, he's going to be throwing that out. The rest of his team, the buy is a bit mixed from them. I do still have Stewie on that FAMAS, and there's full AKs out for the OpTic guys, but given how Shroud's been looking, he could do the majority of the work by himself.
Yeah, definitely. Although, maybe not against the guns. Last round was against pistols. This time OpTic with some weapons to work with, and again, fairly similar setup to what they had in the first gun round, where they did have 2 over towards Ivy. They were peeking in, but this time no AWP to challenge them there from Stewie. It's actually Shroud holding that angle with the Org.
OpTic, though, still aren't really pushing. They've got themselves some positions. They're up in the halls. They're over towards Ivy. They've got the bomb still back in team main, but they haven't really moved anywhere. And they don't need to. Well, they do need to, but they don't need to rush. They can take their time. On the side of Cloud9, they really just need to sit back and wait. They don't need to get aggressive. They did try it. They've had the FAMAS push up into the upper halls a couple times to try and get some information, but they don't need to be doing that. They just need to sit back, wait for OpTic to come to them, and then try and win those aim duels. And for now, looks like it's going to be a late flank through Ivy for OpTic, with the main push going in towards the B side. There we go, the grenades do come out. And Molotov going to block off Mixwell, so he can't quite move perhaps as far as he would want to. But the rest of his team, they're going over towards B. This is all just a fake in Ivy.
Cloud9 pretty much perfectly set up to defend that, though. Mixwell does take down automatic, so good start for OpTic here, but only 20 seconds left, and they do need to get the bomb down. Stewie's just going to deny that. I think that's the round over here for OpTic, although the kill does go the way of Naf, and that might open things up enough for Naf to get the bomb down, because Skadoodle is quite far back in the site, although we do have a wraparound coming from the back for Cloud9. Oh, he might have just got that in time. Yeah, he does, but it's not going to matter. Naf should go down here. Nothing does drop, but Naf's down on 9 HP now. And 2 players to deal with. Unless he...
no.
Well, okay.
This is interesting now.
Oh.
All right, well. Easy shot for Skadoodle.
That's kind of the whack-a-mole analogy coming out once again.
It is. Boop, surprise. But Skadoodle with the 3K in the round to save his team there. Naf made that one a lot more interesting than it perhaps had to be. And that's going to be a lot of guns that are going to need to be rebought from Cloud9. But
they've got the money.
Exactly, they've got the money. And that was a good buy out of OpTic as well. Shroud... I was about to say, does he have enough to go for the Org? Of course he does. Needs to keep that thing up.
Yeah.
Who needs M4s in this day and age where you can just have a scope and win? Evidently not Shroud, so T is going to be buying once again. Full AKs, decent utility out, full armor. Actually very good utility. They've got lots of smokes, lots of Molotovs. If they can get the bomb down in that same spot on B, they have the Molotovs now to be able to defend it with that easy post-plant molly off the door, which I think I've seen pretty much no players miss.
Yeah, and that rebuy that Cloud9 had to take there has really drained their economy quite a lot. So OpTic, if they can win this round, they might be able to string a couple together on the back of some anti-ecos, but they will need to win this round, and so far they've... I mean, yes, it was a 1v1 last round, but, like, was it really that close? I don't think so. So it doesn't seem to me as though OpTic are really having much of an impact on Cloud9 right now on that T side.
Not as much, so let's try and change that going forward. This could be the round in which they do it, but just look at the rate in which they're burning through the utility. There's 1 minute and 6 seconds just left on the clock. They've already thrown out half of their flashbangs, a couple of those Molotovs. They've still got all their smokes, but they're burning through utility, and most of that was just utility to deny Cloud9 peeking them. They haven't really pushed anywhere with it. They're still all in the default T control areas of the map. They haven't taken anywhere away from Cloud9 just yet, as their utility, Jason R's completely out. They're running so low, and they haven't really used any of it to get anywhere.
Molotov into uppers for Cloud9. OpTic are playing very, very slowly so far on the T side. If this one doesn't work out in their way, might be time to change things up, but we'll see how this goes. Automatic, he spots the bomb out there as well. That's really, really early information for Cloud9. The rotations should come across a Molotov as well, just to deny the bomb retrieval, or at least make it a little bit more difficult. And at this point, Cloud9 seem in a good position, though the trades are actually going the way of OpTic. 2 versus 1 now for Skadoodle. 16 seconds left, though, for OpTic, and if they don't get this bomb down, well, Tarrant going down is going to make life even more difficult here for Rush. He knows exactly where Skadoodle is, and Skadoodle missed the shot. It's a round on the board for OpTic, but it was a bit of a streaky one.
It was, and the bomb not going down means that their economy not going to get that little bit of an extra boost. Of course, winning the round will do enough for them, but they're only going to be able to save one gun from the coffers of Cloud9. But speaking of the coffers of Cloud9, that money running pretty low for them. This is just going to be a pistol round, so their money finally broken. Nothing has a Zeus. I'd love to see a kill with that. But on the side of OpTic, it's still not a great buy. Their utility is limited. They've got Tarek stuck on a Galil, but the rest of their team are going to be pretty happy. And if they can clean up this anti-eco and they're losing a kill or two, really, they should be fine, but nothing. I'd love Nav to drop down there right now. I love Zeus kills.
Yeah, I'm a big fan as well.
Well, Cloud9 had that period in the summer where they just only used Zeus's, back when they were made, you know, very, very cheap. Cloud9 just bought them forever.
Oh, when they were free?
Yeah, when in that update, which was terribly broken, Shroud not be able to close out on Rush. So that's a good start in this anti-eco. Rush picking himself up too. The Zeus on nothing still alive, but he can hear all his players are running away from them as he looks dejectedly through the wall. Oh, guys, come party this way. This is where all the fun is. I've got streamers.
OpTic Gaming are apparently the party poopers in this analogy.
Evidently.
Yeah, nothing. Remember the streamers. That was a good time.
That was good. Yeah, free Zeus's was just... There's been montages made. I believe there was enough kills in them to go for 3 minutes or more of just Cloud9 getting Zeus kills. Or nothing is full committing. He wants this.
He was close.
He got close. Jason R shuts him out though. So a clean anti-eco from OpTic Gaming. That's what they needed to get further into this. The money has restabilized from Cloud9 such that they could buy, but they could also just take a double eco here and bring out a much better buy in the next round.
Oh, they're not going to go for the double eco. They're going to force into it.
No org for Shroud.
No org, but they do have the AWP on Skadoodle. And a rifle for at least nothing and automatic. Oh, and I guess Shroud has got it from us, so that counts as a rifle as well. But, yeah, not too many utilities here. And OpTic starting to get the ball rolling just a little bit. If Cloud9 do lose this round, then I think things are becoming a little bit of a problem for them. I would have liked to see that double eco, but it doesn't seem to be the done thing anymore, really. Pretty much everyone is just forcing into the rounds when they can buy.
Might as well go for it. You've got to get something on the board, but OpTic looking to pinch into this A side. They've got players everywhere. The smoke going to come and pop in Naf's face. He's not going to push through it. Skadoodle does find the first kill, but very quick movement. Nothing though at E-Box. Has found himself one, but has to worry about being wrapped on from everywhere. He's going to take down Naf though. That's sharp from him. Shroud's going to get a kill too, and now Mixwell, 1-on-4, has to worry about nothing. He knows he was close. Nothing's going to peek straight into him. Mixwell hits the shot, but the dink... Actually, no, that was through the wall. Does pretty much no damage at all. Mixwell, though, still has to try and clutch out a 1-on-3. Has enough time to make it over to B if that's where he decides to go. But right now, that's a pretty predictable move. He's got to try and fake out Cloud9.
Yeah. Faking out Cloud9, not going to be the easiest of tasks. But at least he's got the bomb, right? So he's got enough to work with here. He's got an AK as well. So that's, I suppose, in this kind of a situation, an upgrade.
Stewie up high, though. Should be able to find the angle on Mixwell as he sneaks down the side of these trains. Mixwell looking for a fight. Stewie will spot him. Kill comes through, easy as you like. Upgrades to the AK-47 that Mixwell was kind enough to bring him. And
Delivery.
Shroud, exactly, Express. Shroud is still stuck on that FAMAS, but the rest of his team have enough guns that they'll be able to get some buys out. On the side of OpTic, though, they've got an AWP dropped over to Mixwell. They have 3 AKs and a UMP out. This is just Force buy versus force buy right now.
Yeah, well,
buy,
OpTic, if they can win this and reset the economy again of Cloud9, there's probably potential for a couple more rounds going in their favor. But in saying that, Cloud9 have looked so very good on the CT side here, and 7 rounds up against the 2. I guess this half is still, in a sense, hanging in the balance, but you have to give the advantage to Cloud9 at this point.
Exactly. They've already found themselves 7 more. They need 1 more to actually win the half. They'll be looking to go further after that if they can. But first thing they're going to need to do is win this round so that they can get their money a little bit more stabilized, get some more rounds going over OpTic Gaming. And given that this is one of OpTic's comfort maps, that's what Cloud9 will be looking to do. They want to give themselves the best advantage they can early on.
Automatic just watching down the angle past the blue trains, or just the blue train. Hasn't spotted much. Oh, what an angle.
That's incredibly tight. It's the angle of dreams right there, boys. That's what we're looking for.
I think Mixwell might have just been spotted out. But OpTic, they seem to be very, very committed to this A-bomb site right now. They've got all their players there except for the one that's going to die, which is Jason R. So that's, you know, caught napping a little bit, I suppose.
Yeah, I wasn't really expecting the push there, which is unfortunate. He was just ready to throw out. By the looks of things, setting up throw through grenades over towards that B site, try and fake out some of Cloud9. But Cloud9 right now, their mental fortitude is very strong. They're just sitting here like, nope, We're not going to be faked. That's one guy. Cool. We think you're still coming A. Now the rotator's coming, but Cloud9 have called this in a 5-on-4. They've got some players over here to deal with this.
Skadoodle with the AWP down the bottom of the B bomb site. There's a player at the Nothing actually at the Z connector. Skadoodle opens things up. Nothing finding another one. And the actual B player himself, Stewie, doesn't even need to do anything.
Gets shut out by the rest of his team.
Thanks, boys.
No worries, lads.
Easy day on the job.
Cheers, guys. I'll just put my feet up on the desk, grab a coffee, chill out, have a good time.
Feet up on the desk is the dream. Totally not what I'm doing right now.
Definitely not. The double AWP comes out for Cloud9 though. Skadoodle and automatic with those actually. Usually it's Stewie with the secondary AWP, but this time automatic, feeling it, with it. And on the side of OpTic Gaming, there's a P250 on Naf again, and it's Glocks for the rest of his team. Last time we saw this, Naf got a kill, and then everyone else died, so potentially a repeat performance, but Stewie with the AK spots out Naf. Just gonna wait. Time is smoke, throw it, fall back. Doesn't need to worry. They're not pushing.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a nothing buy really for OpTic, so this should be another round for Cloud9.
Mate.
Hey?
Nothing's on Cloud9.
Haha. That was a terrible joke.
Thanks, man. I worked hard on it. I'm glad you're proud of me.
I thought we weren't allowed to have fun on this broadcast. You trying to have fun?
What's fun? Not what OpTic are having, that's for sure, especially as Naf loses his shins to the AWP. That's got to not be a fun time. That would hurt.
It would.
And, well,
Molotov was a bit late.
Potentially caught with his pants down here, but we'll be able to fall back, hold an angle again, although Mixwell going to be able to find a kill with the Glock and upgrade to an AK, but with no armor to back that thing up, should be aim punched. There we go, he will fall. Rush goes down as well, and now Jason R. We've seen some clutches before with the Glock would be particularly nutty as... Actually, we'll get one and an AWP, but doesn't get a chance to use it. The double AWP can be recovered. Shroud should grab that thing. There we go, get rid of that from us. Nothing can upgrade to an AK if he so chooses. And that's going to be Cloud9 with their 9th round.
OpTic only with 2. I think OpTic will be able to get a buy here in this round. They did just eco the last one, so let's have a look and see what their economy is looking like. Yep, more than enough to afford a buy. And a pause coming out as well. I know what that music means. Dun, 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 dun. Tac pause. OpTic Gaming. They needed it.
Is that like a Batman style thing you were going for?
Well,
no.
Actually,
Tac
I
pause.
was actually just trying to mimic the current song, but it actually kind of did turn into a bit of a Batman.
It did a little bit. Well, OpTic, they're going to need a superhero to save the day, given that they're down 7 rounds. 9-2 is the score. Cloud9 looking very, very good on really what we would have said is OpTic's place, OpTic's home, somewhere they're really comfortable on.
I mean, we haven't seen OpTic yet on the CT side, so maybe they come back into that. I guess we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves because we're in danger of doing that on Nuke as well.
We are, but Cloud9 are also getting quite far ahead of OpTic.
Yes, that's true. 9 rounds. I guess right now OpTic at this point probably just hoping to get to probably 5 or 6. I'd say 5 would be like sort of a reasonable point to hit. Anything less, yeah, 6 would be better, obviously, but anything less than 5, and OpTic are going to really struggle in that second half.
If they get 11-4 or worst case scenario 12-3, 13-2, it's not looking good for them going further into trainers. Cloud9, they're usually decent on their T side. They had a time, they had a period when I think Nothing was calling it, they had some real struggles on their T side, but that is mostly passed now. They've been a lot more consistent on the T side. I think it's Stewie calling for them now. Maybe Automatic and Shroud has the classic AUG out again. He's actually getting aggressive here. Does the damage onto Tarek and does not care at all. Going to keep pushing here, looking for more kills. This is ridiculous aggression from Cloud9. Shroud
needs to be careful.
Time to get a reload in, but we'll fall back into a Molotov. Mixwell wants to pressure.
The timing.
That actually works out for Cloud9, but it's a 1-for-1. They maybe would have wanted some more from that. It's a nice Molotov onto Automatic's position, but again, Cloud9, they've got the confidence up now. You're going to Molotov us? Great. We're going to get aggressive. Good luck.
Yeah, and they know that OpTic has been talking about what's going on here on the CT side. So feels to me as though Cloud9 are changing things up in relation to that, but it's clearly not worked out there. OpTic with their most convincing round so far of the second map. 4 players left alive. Still not too big of a deal here for Cloud9. They should be able to buy into this one, assuming nothing is going to drop for Stewie, which he does.
The problem in that round, though, for Cloud9 was the aggression. They push into the B halls early on, they get a 1-for-1 trade, they fall back, but then we saw it was, I believe, Automatic, who was stuck by that Molotov, pushed forward on the train. Doing that, gave up Ivy controller, T's flanking through there. I think it was Rush came in, got himself 1 or 2 kills. The aggression from Cloud9, aggression is fine, but you can't give up your default hold by doing so. And when they pushed in that round, they gave up Ivy controller, they had the flank to come through, OpTic just wrapped into the site, and every Cloud9 member who died shooting at one person and being shot from behind. The crossfire was just perfect from OpTic.
Yeah, but how's Cloud9 going to react? Because if they take this round away, they can just storm through with the first half here. But if they don't, and they start to let OpTic get back into this one, obviously next round for Cloud9 should be an eco. You know, that's sort of 5 rounds there for OpTic Gaming. So this round, very, very important for both of the teams. It can result in a couple more rounds in a row to whichever team gets the win.
You can see, though, Cloud9 this time not being as aggressive at all. They've made sure to keep an anchor down towards Ivy. It's Shroud this time. They're not letting themselves get flanked out now. They're not playing as aggressive into A Mania. They don't have as much information as they did. But what just happened to them? Surely, if I can figure it out, they can figure it out. They're actually good players, and they'll be able to adapt to that. They don't want it to happen again. But Naf, under cover of these smokes, actually worked his way out. There's a few players there getting out from Team Main, moving in towards E-Box. The rest of these players playing around these smokes. Nothing in a great position here behind the red train. That's one of the few positions that doesn't actually get hit by the standard flashes and Molotovs, but he will be hit by a bullet in the face, and that's not the greatest of starts for him. Skadoodle. Okay, he was in connector. I thought he hit that shot dropping off the ladder there. But a 3-on-4 for the retake.
It is looking a bit better now for OpTic once more in this round. Shroud still with the AUG. What can he do? Hasn't been quite as impactful with that weapon as he was on Nuke. And Stewie, he's going to peek out Mixwell. I don't know if he wasn't watching the angle. I thought he was, but
might have been watching low connector.
Easy kill for Stewie. And now Shroud, he's got a job to do. He's got 2 players in his sight lines. Oh, almost gets the second one there onto Jason R, but it's just Rush now.
Noodle sticking this. Tarek hasn't heard it.
All right, Tarek, not Rush. Yeah, and Tarek, he should be able to clutch this out now. I think the time has gone a little bit too far.
If there was a kid on Skadoodle, that was over. But as it is, Stewie just has to bow out of the round.
Can
he really wants this kill. Does damage to Tarek, and Tarek dies to the bomb. So Stewie does enough, but the round is won by OpTic regardless. However, Cloud9 really got the optimal situation. They did as much damage as they possibly could while still losing the round. But the money on OpTic is such that they can rebuy, and Cloud9 really, they can either choose to force and try and rally behind the AK on Stewie, or just take a save and hope that Stewie can do something ridiculous.
They have to save, surely.
Yeah, they will.
Maybe Stewie can push the B halls again, like what we've seen him do. Actually, looks like he's headed towards the A-bomb site, so he's typically been the B player so far for Cloud9. This time changing things up, and I think that's fair enough. When you're on a buy like this, you just need to be making things a little bit more difficult for OpTic, making them think, and perhaps catching them off guard, because you play standard, you're just going to get out-dueled. It'll be so easy for OpTic in that situation, but Stewie doing what he needs to do.
Not quite. What he needed there was a kill, but makes himself known, has to fall back, dodges the flashbang, spots the shoulder peek there. OpTic playing very dangerous games with their lives, but Stewie eventually runs out of ammo, gets taken out by Mixwell. That is the AK gone. Shroud can potentially get one onto Rush here, but Rush very aware of this corner being a possibility. Should check it, and Shroud not even going to land a shot. So now it's the rest of the pistols. P250's no armor. Can maybe do some damage. Naf could go down here. He's in a bit of a terrible angle. That's the bomb too. So that's potentially a problem. There's actually 2 AKs been upgraded for Skadoodle and Automatic as well. But there's a terrorist coming in through from behind him. It's going to be Tarek wrapping all the way through CT. That flank should be enough to close this one out.
Automatic, though, does manage to take down Rush. And is the flank going to be enough? Because Skadoodle has spotted it out. The bomb's still well in the control of Cloud9, and 35 seconds left to work with for OpTic Gaming. They need to move quickly here.
They do. They've got to try and figure this one out, and it's Jason coming in from the upper halls, and Tarek, well, was behind, and now Jason has to clutch it out. Does have armor, so aim punch. Not going to be an issue for him, but he's got 20 seconds. He needs to find these shots, and he's not going to. Automatic.
Even if he had, like, would he have even been able to get the bomb down in time?
Unless Skadoodle was doing some ridiculous, like, very aggressive peek that allowed Jason to find that angle, there was nothing he was getting done there. So Cloud9 get the eco win just after I said they shouldn't, just to prove me wrong. They get 3 AKs through from it. They're going to buy an AWP onto Skadoodle and then 4 on Stewie to complete that buy. And over on the side of OpTic, it's 2 AKs, 3 Tech 9s. This worked for Cloud9 last round. A worse buy actually worked for Cloud9 last round, but it's so much easier to force and win on the CT side than it is on the T in general. Because you can sit in a close angle and wait for players to come to you. On the T side, you got to move. You got to go find them.
Right. OpTic looks like this time they're going to try and control Ivy. They're trying to hope to close this out at 10-5, but Cloud9 well in the position to be able to turn this into 11 rounds on the CT side, which is pretty much where they would have been happy to sit.
That's what they would like.
Yeah, so push coming out from OpTic Gaming. The flashbang will be good for Shroud, and it completely turns Mixwell into nothing, really.
To
trade out, though.
Indeed. Scoodle, not going to go for the push through that smoke. Ooh, I don't think he spotted Naf there. Should have an idea now. Nothing. Taking the duel with Tarek through this smoke. Looking for it. Tarek just going to push straight through and will fall. Nothing. Almost hit the 180 there, but now Rush left all on his own. Has 2 kills in this round. Going to need to double that to close this out. Nothing in automatic. Really just crossfired. The bomb is sitting behind Scoodle right now, who's holding a very tight angle. And even if Scoodle misses and gets taken down here, automatic, sitting up in heaven, has Overwatch on this bomb site. And with 35 seconds left, there's really, unless Rush moves out, gets this kill and grabs the bomb, now he has no time to go B. So automatic can just wait. And Scoodle's going to hit the shot.
Easy kill for him. 11 rounds in the first half for Cloud9. The tables have turned from Nuke, where OpTic came through with 10. Now it's Cloud9 with 11, moving over to their own T side. And feels like that's enough to me.
If Cloud9 can win the pistol, this is done, basically. Yep. If they can't, there's a chance for OpTic to be able to force their way back into this a little bit, but Cloud9, they're usually pretty good in the pistol rounds. Unless Jason R can just show up very, very strong. It's because he's really the main... He's not the only pistol player on OpTic, but from what I've seen of him, he's very, very strong on the pistols. So if he can show up, if the rest of their players can do that, if Naf, we saw him be good on the pistols early on in the first half, he was really the only one getting kills for 3 rounds, I think. If they can do that, they can get the pistol, they can start to mount a comeback. If Cloud9 can just roll on through and shut them out, then they'll be shut out. It'll be over.
Well, that's really going to be the key here, isn't it, for them? They need to start off with the pistol, but not only that, are they going to need to then turn this into a bit more of a game where they kind of seem to be having any kind of an impact? Because really, on the T side there was like maybe 2 or 3 rounds where they looked actually all that good. I think in particular, I'm looking for Tarek and Mixwell to step up. Mixwell, particularly with that AWP, going to be very, very impressive if he can be able to turn things around here on the CT side of Train. But he's a key player for me here. Cloud9, if they just close that pistol out, like you said, very tough for OpTic to come back into this one. Cloud9 quickly out into the A side as well.
Great utility usage to get in, but Rush finding 2. Good work from him. Tarek finds 3rd as well. Automatic will trade at least 1 back, but Skadoodle now left on his own. Can catch out Tarek here. Hits the first shot, but needs 3 more. The bomb is down. The peek comes in from Nap. There's no armor on Skadoodle either, and he will fall. So a great pistol round from OpTic there. Good work from Rush, getting faced down by multiple players to take down 2 before falling. Gives them a chance gives OpTic a chance to try and fight back into this a little bit. Still a fair way down, but they will be able to buy now, although Mixwell coming in with an M4. There we go. The rest of the buys come out. Naf with a Mag 7.
Double scout from Cloud9.
That's interesting as well. Stewie and Skadoodle taking those. I just want to try and find some headshots if they can, or if they can hit the 70 tags under the body with the scouts, the Deagles are 1-shot kills. That's what they're going for here.
Skadoodle already tagged down just a little bit. So at this point, it would be thought that OpTic should know that this buy is coming out for Cloud9. Automatic started off nicely though.
That's the M4 down as well.
Cloud9,
the big gun.
Cloud9 have actually been very good at their eco rounds so far tonight.
They have. They've been playing
It's
well.
a dangerous sort of a situation right now for OpTic Gaming, because even though they should, in theory, be favoured to get this win, doesn't necessarily mean that's going to be the case, especially considering the initial pick goes the way of Cloud9. That's how you slowly start to snowball around like this. You get the pick, maybe you can find the gun, maybe you can't, but the pick's still good. Nice shot though from Rush. Automatic had no chance.
So Cloud9 now with 2 scouts and 2 Deagles have to try and make this round work. Rush, dropping off the train, finds himself another headshot there. Skadoodle has fallen. And now, wow. Okay, Rush was peeking over the train. I thought he was actually falling off there when he hit that, but a perfect peek. Stewie does find 1 with the scout, getting a nice crisp headshot through, and Stewie walks straight into Rush there, getting his 2nd kill of the round, this time with the Deagle. In a 2-on-2 though, Tarek playing the other side of the smoke. Has a lot to do as Nap is quite far away. 25 seconds now on the clock. Not much time for Cloud9 to really work with. Naf going to be in a pretty rough position here, and Tarek getting double picked will fall. Now Naf, 18 seconds. The bomb has to go down on A, but the Mag 7 is a very, very close range weapon.
It is, but he's not going to be able to use it at this range unless he sneaks all the way around the bomb train. They actually just double peek him. The bomb's going to probably be planted. Nope, Stewie decides, or Shroud rather decides, no worries. Anyway, Cloud9
as well.
Cloud9 get the pistol win. And OpTic are on the eco / force buy by the looks of things, but gee, that's not how you wanted to start off the second half here, OpTic. Well, it was, because they got the pistol, but
it's how they wanted to start, but not continue.
Didn't follow it up.
No. Which is a shame, because that really could be their chances in the bin of coming back into this. Early days in this half, they can still do some more here, but Cloud9, their anti-ecos have generally been pretty good. So if they can take this one through, if they can get this without losing too many guns, I mean, really, the only guns they care about right now is Stewie. Stewie's AK. That's what they worry about losing. Of course, they don't want to lose 4 other guns, but Skadoodle's just on a Tech 9. He can do whatever he wants. Stewie is actually going to swap out the AK to Shroud, given that health disadvantage. Go back to the Scout, which he had good impact with last round, so fair enough. The AK is all they're really worried about losing. The rest of it, the Scout was kept from last round. One of those UMPs was kept from last round. The only thing they've really invested in is another UMP and an AK-47. So if they can keep just those alive, they'll be set.
You would think so. OpTic need to find something in this round, though, because they cannot allow any more rounds to bleed over to Cloud9. They've given up too much already in this second half by losing that anti-eco, that now Cloud9 is really in pole position just to close this one out with an extremely significant scoreline. They've already had okay results on Train so far this season with the 16-9 over Immortals. Obviously, the 16-5 over Complexity as well. And they might be just on track to do something very, very similar right now against OpTic. But let's not count our chickens before they hatch. OpTic finding the first kill on the round, but the B site now fully in control of Cloud9.
And Automatic getting very, very aggressive with this UMP as well. Cutting off the connector at the pass. Shroud will step up and finish off Tarek there, and these other guys running straight through the smoke. Going to go square into the UMP. Automatic finds 2, and Rush should be following shortly. Automatic with his 3rd. Good money from the UMP. Good damage. Cloud9 take 13.
Alrighty. That's going to be another eco here for OpTic Gaming. So they have to save for next round. They can force buy into the next one. But Cloud9 are really just... There's not much more to say, really. They're just rolling over OpTic at this point. Well and truly.
That's basically all it is, yeah. Just rolling on through, and Cloud9 very, very aggressive here. Do not care about OpTic at all in this round. Just going to go in, put the hurt, make it personal. Mixwell tapping away with the USP. Has been found out on this bomb train. Wants to stay alive, but it's going to be, well, there we go. UMPs come through. Stewie, nothing, close it out. 14 rounds for Cloud9. 1 gun lost. Good money from the UMPs.
That Cloud9 snowball is sort of 3/4 of the way down the hill. It's pretty much picked up the maximum speed that it wants to get to. It's as big as it's going to get. And they're going to turn into an avalanche sooner or later, by the looks of things.
Essentially.
OpTic Gaming, though, with the buy. It's a little lackluster, but it's there. Just missing some utilities. 1 defuse kit only as well, so Rush is going to be key here. If he goes down on the wrong bomb site or something like that, then OpTic may be in a spot of bother in a post-plant sort of a situation, but that would mean Cloud9 have to get the bomb down, and as of yet, that's not the case. OpTic with a bit of a push here as well, courtesy of Mixwell. I think there's another play with him.
Yeah, Tarek just boosted up. I was going to ask what that was, but it was Tarek's boots. And Tarek, moving around here, could actually potentially find himself a nice position.
This is a lot of information, though, for OpTic.
It is.
They know pretty much exactly where Cloud9 is. They know that Cloud9 is setting up now for an A-take.
And Tarek, he could potentially come all the way through behind him here. Skadoodle, he hasn't been spotted, but nothing will be. Tarek biding his time. The trigger control so perfect. If Skadoodle checks, so Tarek's done, but he's looking for the kills. Finds 1, finds 2. He's going to go for it, finds both, and the bomb as well. Cloud9, you have to be aware of that, and this round is falling apart for them. Skadoodle will kill Tarek, retake the bomb, but he has to do it all himself and can't find another kill.
Yeah.
Cloud9, you can't give up that sort of map control.
That cannot happen at all. I thought Skadoodle maybe was probably the one that needed to be watching that angle. I think there's going to be some stern words going on in the Cloud9 camp after that round. But look, it's not the end of the world. They still have so many rounds to play with. OpTic only 6 on the board now. Cloud9 the ones with 14, and they will be able to afford to buy into this one. So OpTic Gaming, despite winning that round, their buy again, it's not perfect. It's maybe a little better. No AWP, they do have it from us, lacking some defuse kits and utilities as well.
Shroud's back on the scoped gun. This time not the AUG. Got the Krieg out. Didn't have as much effect with this over on Nuke, but might be able to do some clicking of heads here. It allows him to just get a little bit of a closer range, or a closer view on those long-range angles if he can take that fight. Looks like he's actually walking into B by himself, walking into the upper halls by himself. Looking to clear some angles, so... For OpTic, it's a pretty heavy A stack. They've got 4 players over there. Mixwell is now rotating over through the connector to join NAF, so more standard play for them. 1 player towards Ivy, 2 on A, 2 on B. It's what we're normally used to seeing. There's some aggressive positions on A, actually. Tarek looking to push in. Shroud needs to get this kill, and he will. Nothing gets one as well. So now OpTic, they're walking beautiful shots from Automatic.
Absolutely
well,
wrecked.
go the same way. Well, indeed, beautiful headshots from Automatic. Stewie finds Jason R. So what looks like a little bit of life coming into OpTic has been stomped out of them again, as this one's a pistol by Cloud9. They just need to play slow, play their map control. They can't let someone like Tarek flank them again. But if they just take this one slowly, play their map control, get their frags, this is done 16-6.
Alrighty, well, Cloud9, they're in a good spot here. Like, what's OpTic Gaming going to be able to do realistically with just the pistols? Cloud9 really looking good on this T side as well. They've only dropped 1 or 2 rounds. Stewie does open up onto Tarek. Jason R does trade one back at least there for OpTic, so it's still even player numbers for the moment, but not for too much longer as we now find ourselves with only 2 CTs left alive. Naf could be crucial here, but he should have been heard by Shroud in the end though. Shroud does go down, almost denies the bomb plan, and actually does take down Skadoodle, but in the end there's just too many numbers for Cloud9 left alive, and Stewie closes it out. So 16-6, the result on the second map there. Cloud9, once again the victors, a 2-0 for them tonight.
Getting themselves a 2-0 over OpTic, which is not what I was predicting, but it was definitely closer than what you were predicting, which I believe was sort of tentatively a 2-0 for OpTic.
Tentatively, yeah.
But either way, Cloud9 will win it out. Very well played from them as well.
Yeah, really, really nice from Cloud9. They looked far and away the better team tonight. There was really only like that first half of Nuke where OpTic looked like they were probably the ones that were stronger tonight. So ever since then, it's been Cloud9 for days.
Yeah, well, for day, really,
Yeah,
just
full
today.
day.
But they did enough. They got it done. They played very, very well. Their CT sides in particular were great. Their T sides were not
Possible.
bad. Their T sides were good enough to be able to capitalize on the work they did on their CT side, or to set themselves up to do enough work on their CT side. And that's what they did.
Yeah, definitely a great night for Cloud9. We'll have a look at how things went for them. 16-11 on the first map, as I said, 16-6 on the second, both the way of Cloud9, and no surprises over on the mainstream either. SK able to get a 1-1 with OpTic. I think that's a fairly, maybe not hugely expected result. I suppose you could say 2-0 for SK, but it's one that you can understand.
And it is. And that second game.
Second game, like that's
expected, but it hurts. It still hurts.
It still hurts, but it is expected. So.
They're Kiwis. We have no affiliation with them.
Of course.
Winterfox. They've got a majority New Zealand core, so we can just be like, oh no.
Yeah, let's do that.
It's the rule for Australian teams overseas. They're Australian if they win and North American if they don't.
That's
or
it.
New Zealand or wherever we can assign them to. But expected results, and then Cloud9, maybe not as expected to get the 2-0 over OpTic. We're expecting at least one map for them, but they'll be very happy with the 2-0 going forward.
Yeah, let's find out what's going on tomorrow as well. We do have a bit of a stream going on here for us tomorrow too. NRG up against Renegades, and I guess we're getting the second map of Renegades and Liquid. Okay, that's news to me, but
there you go.
There you go.
Fair enough. Triple Renegades, triple Aussie team for the Aussie stream
That
tomorrow,
was the one that sort of ended at like 13-13 or something.
Yeah, it might have been some server issues or something.
Yeah, so
there
maybe we get to see the end
we
of
might
that.
just get the last 6 rounds of that, or 5 rounds of that.
Well, that'll be good.
That'll be interesting, but there you go. It's an all-Australian affair, at least on one side of the stream, on one side of one of the teams. There we go. That's what I'm going for on the Australian
Renegades,
stream tomorrow. So we'll be looking for, of course, as very unbiased casters, we'll be looking for Renegades to get some work done.
Very, very unbiased.
Oh, naturally. But there you go. It's going to be good.
It is going to be good. And today was good as well. Look, I mean, I thought that was a really good matchup to be able to watch. Cloud9, they're going to be very pleased with how that one's gone. OpTic, maybe not so much, but at least they got the win over SK earlier on tonight, so it's not an entirely terrible night for them. But overall, 1-3 for OpTic. They would have been coming into tonight hoping for a little bit better. They would have.
They would have liked a little bit more if they could have, especially after playing on Train, which is, as we said multiple times, one of their maps. They played against SK, who are arguably one of the best teams in the world, and they managed to get the win. 16-14, but a win regardless. So to then fall against one of their North American brethren in Cloud9 is a bit of a disappointing result for them, but it just shows the good form that Cloud9 are really bringing to this North American Pro League.
Yeah, we'll have to see how they continue to go throughout the rest of the season of NA Pro League. But for now, we are going to have to bid you good night. That's the end of our show for tonight. We will be back tomorrow at the regular time. Until then, have a good one.